Hello and welcome to PTV World Special Transmission. I'm your host Shahzad Raza. Before we start discussing what we were discussing in the last hour, let me tell you that I've been practicing journalism for the last 25 years, and in this process I had several Indian friends, Indian journalist friends who were considered the same vices in otherwise the saffronized India. And I would request them to ask or check their government in place at the moment, that whatever it is doing, conducting false flag operations, killing their own people, it's something that no one, I mean no country, no government, whether it's a democracy or a dictatorship, would allow you. I mean, it's against the humanity, it's against the basic norms of humanity. So it is their utmost responsibility to play their part, and we believe there still are a few, there are brave, but still a few voices in India which really can make a difference at the moment. And I'm not saying is out of some sort of fear or weakness. Pakistan is a very resolute and resilient country. We are very brave people. Our army is very battle hardened. Facing all these non-state actors or proxies supported and backed by countries like India. So just don't have any misunderstanding that whenever Pakistan is offering an olive branch, it is offering out of weakness. It is basically trying to tell you guys to have peace in South Asian region, because Pakistan believes that the peace is the best to bring prosperity in all these countries. More than 70 or 80% of your population, how they live there, all these flashy pictures, the Bollywood movies and all your wealth, that is limited to less than 5% of the entire Indian population. India proudly claims itself to be the largest democracy in the world, but in fact whatever is the plight of an ordinary Indian citizen, it is not something hidden, it's an open fact. So the people of India, the sane people of India, no matter whether they are in a minority, they must stand up and question the government, the fascist government of Narendra Modi, that whatever they are doing, killing their own people, it's not going to help to further their political agenda. As far as we are concerned, we are committed to our message and moral and the principle of peace as enshrined in the Constitution of Pakistan and as taught by our religion. With this thought and comment, let me begin. Again, let me resume this transmission, and in the studio we have Faisal Raza Khan. You see him on the regular basis on the Pakistan PTV World screen. Thank you so much, Faisal, for your time and coming all the way to the studio.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We have Faisal Shakeel, my colleague and the senior analyst and a senior journalist on the video link. Thank you so much, Faisal Shakeel, for your time as well. We have AVM Ijaz Malik Saab on the video link as well. Thank you so much, AVM, for your time as well. Faisal Raza Khan, you think that it's going to be a very bad situation for the two countries, or you think the sanity will prevail? I mean, I'm not concerned, because sanity is something which doesn't match with the Indian philosophy or the philosophy of the current Indian administration. But you think that all those efforts by the friendly countries would pay in the end, and India would take a step back from the warmongering and hiding its own failure, or the conspiracies hatched against Pakistan?
Shahzad, thank you very much. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Yes, it is indeed. I'm not saying it a bad situation, but this is basically a situation created by India. It has nothing to do with Pakistan, and Pakistan has to actually preserve its sovereignty, integrity and independence, and for that matter 240 million people are united, Alhamdulillah. There is no difference in between what India is time and again cashing the fissures among our society and our politicians and what is going on. This is internally in this country is our home. Pakistan is our home. It's our motherland. Everyone has the due right to have differences, and those differences are actually the beauty of democracy, and that happens. So it doesn't mean that we are far away from each other. We are united actually. When it comes to Pakistan, it is loud and clear. And I think so that if India wants, because we have tried hard in our history to be a friend, be a good neighbor of India, and even our government is always very much proponent of that we want good neighborly relations with India. But it doesn't mean that we are not aware of our defenses and whatever. And this time, I think so that India is, particularly you have right at the start of your intro, you have rightly pointed out about the Indian media. What kind of warmongering and the war hysteria they are actually creating among their society. We know always, you know.
Where have all those sane voices gone?
Unfortunately,
there were people, I would not name anyone.
You know, it's a 1.4 billion people who are living there in India, and there are lots of there is lots of diversity. But unfortunately, those positive and the sane voices are unfortunately they are snubbed across the board in India. They don't want to portray them. Even most of the people are calling it a false flag operation, what happened in Pahalgam. Yeah. But unfortunately, you know, just look at it. There is no investigation. No media is calling the government that investigation first. The results must have to come, and then afterwards you have to create some sort of a blame game, which you are master in creating that one. And Bharatiya Janata Party is, sorry to say, is an offshoot of Rashtriya Swayam Civic Sangh.
What are you sorry for?
No, I'm not sorry for really.
It's an open fact.
But the thing is, what the mantra they're portraying across India and in the region as Akhand Bharat and the fascism and all others.
True that.
And extremism is at the peak. And when the butcher of Gujarat, they are very much, they're criticizing our ministers for asking for that. But it was the world asking Modi as the butcher of Gujarat, the killer of more than 2,000 people in Gujarat when he was the chief minister. And now he is the prime minister. What to expect from him?
Exactly.
And on the other hand, it is very much loud and clear that it was in America, and once again we are calling it that he is calling that Trump is his friend actually, but it was once that America categorized Mr. Modi as a terrorist, and there was a case going on over there, and visa was denied to him. He was banned to enter into
only allowed to enter America after he became the prime minister.
Definitely. So if India wants to have a passion to have war, please come. Our tea is ready. No doubt about that. Our tea is ready.
We are ready to face any Indian aggression, rightly pointed out by Faisal Raza Khan. Faisal Shakeel, any comment on what Faisal, your namesake, just stated? And the question is, do you feel amused, entertained by whatever happening on Indian current affairs channel at this stage? Because I mean, whatever they are saying, however they are acting, I mean, they deserve an Oscar, if not any award in Indian civil society, but they really deserve some sort of an award.
To me, it's a huge comedy of the century, really.
Of course, whatever comedy they are doing at the moment, I mean, it is something that we really cannot do. We report facts, we talk sense, but whatever Indian media is doing at the moment, it's something which is, I mean, it is nothing to do with the journalism or anything which we were taught in the classroom or in the newsroom. Faisal Shakeel.
Yes, I've seen Indian media's coverage. They're perpetuating the same sentiment which has come from the Indian government, and they appear to be the mouth organ of the Indian government at the moment. Warmongering, fanning sentiments among people, which is really very bad. One, the government has launched a crackdown against people who have had a different point of view on Pahalgam attack. in Assam day before yesterday. 8 people were arrested, including a local MLA, which is a member of Legislative Assembly, for raising questions on Pahalgam attack. So this is the sort of mindset the Indian government has at the moment. Their mood is very, very aggressive, and that is without logic, hegemonic. Whatever they are doing at the moment, they're showing complete disrespect to international law, norms, and even bilateral understandings. Releasing water in rivers without intimating, it's an act of war. Indian government appears to be in a very bad mood at the moment. You've earlier
Who
raised this
cares?
question as to
Who cares?
what
Who cares? Should we should we
as
be
to what
should we care? Should we care? Who
uh,
cares if they are in a very
we
bad
should
move? Because
we
it
should
was
care.
it was their false flag operation. I mean, they killed their 26 people. I mean, their blood is yeah. Go ahead.
Just talking about their intentions, they have bad intentions. I will refer to Khwaja Asif's statement. He has time and again said, uh, we will retaliate with more force. So the government expects some sort of action by the Indian government. I'm just telling you about the intentions of the Indian government. Should we be afraid or not? That is a different subject altogether. We're both nuclear capable power nations. I think we both have the responsibility to take matters with caution. So Indian government is not doing that. That is the point that I am trying to make. And Pakistan has raised voice. Pakistan has reached out to international community. And I was just listening to Donald Trump's statement on what he said regarding this issue between India and Pakistan. And he said that, he's not willing to intervene. The Iranians have shown some interest, but I don't think they would be able to make a meaningful mediation attempt.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm surprised that you are still optimistic that India would play fair or sanity would prevail in the end and they would accept their failure or the guilt that whatever they are hiding at the moment. But AVM Ijaz Malik Saab,
My
the question
argument
is
is
now.
entirely different. I'm saying that India is not
Yeah,
by
I
any
got your
means
point, Faisal. I got your point. I
bad.
got your point. I got your point. I'm not denying you. I'm not rebutting you. Whatever you said, I completely agree, and I agree with you. Whatever your argument was, AVM Saab. The thing is, not long ago we had that a very horrific terrorist incident in Balochistan when innocent people were killed who were on board in Jafar Express. The thing is, in that specific incident, we found very clear and solid evidence the involvement of the enemy intelligence agencies. I mean, India is a country or their intelligence, they always taking pride of supporting the Baloch terrorists, the non-state actors who are basically trying to damage Pakistan in any way, whichever way possible. So, what about their confession? Where is the world community when they are confessing that yes, we are supporting those elements who are killing the innocent people? So, it is understandable that they carried out that false flag operation to malign and embarrass Pakistan in Kashmir and to put that disputed issue to the back burner once again. AVM Saab.
Yes, exactly. That is where we need to first think. The question at this moment is not that whether this was a false flag operation or not. It obviously was. And the main question or point of concern for us should be that what next? Because this is not a stand alone, spontaneous incidents. This is a well planned incident. Just see the sequence. Within minutes, the Pakistan is blamed. Within minutes, the inquiry is completed. The persons are identified. Their linkages and travel history to Pakistan is made public, and FIR is launched. How quick? If they are so smart and so professional, why couldn't they prevent such attack? That's the first question. So I am convinced that India has some plan beyond this, and that is where we should be concerned. Obviously, our government, our and political, they have categorically said that we are open for any inquiry. We will be cooperating for any inquiry, and but at the same time, our desire for peace shouldn't be taken as weakness, and our response will be very befitting and even uh, stronger than what we displayed with a lot of concern in 2019 post Pulwama. So, regarding your second part of the question, that why the word not, you know, uh, condemn the word, is treating both the countries and the situation, both the countries, with a different lens.
Mustajab,
Uh,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is some problem in the connection, and you are not very well audible. We'll connect with you once again. But viewers, we have this report about the capability of Indian Army. I mean, India is on a warmongering spree and us, threatening Pakistan of so-called dire consequences that they would invade Pakistan or conquer Pakistan. I mean, all these are the jokes. But with the policy of the BJP current leadership and particularly Mr. Modi, they made India a banana republic. I mean, that is for sure. And the army is now a runaway army or comprising the runaway soldiers. I mean, there are so many incidents. I mean, gone were the days when Indian army used to have the soldiers like General Manek Shaw, but not anymore. Just because they had into so much hatred and enmity with Pakistan that they forgot the basic principle of being a soldier or part of the armed forces. And thank you, BJP, thank you, Mr. Narendra Modi, what you did to India. No enemy, including Pakistan, could do with India in so many years. So we watch this report, and then I'll get the comment from Mr. Faisal Raza Khan and Faisal Shakeel and AVM Saab. So just watch the report.
The Indian Army is on record that 68% of its war fighting equipment is obsolete. There are more interesting facts that we need to know about India's poor war capabilities. These facts provide us an insight into India's decaying military capabilities and inability to fight a war. Most recently, after the Pahalgam false flag operation, the Indian Army gave flight clearance to the grounded Dhruv advanced light helicopters just 3 months after the army grounded its entire fleet of 330 following a fatal crash in Gujarat in January this year. The saga doesn't end here. Following the failure of the Pahalgam false flag operation, the Indian Air Force appeared to be in a state of panic, turning against its own people as a fighter jet dropped a bomb on a civilian area on Friday. The incident that occurred in the Shivpuri area of Madhya Pradesh caused severe damage to the homes and infrastructure, while casualties were also reported. The high level of corruption and mistreatment of soldiers is another major issue in Indian Army. In a viral Facebook video, an Indian Army soldier, Tej Bahadur Yadav, accused the senior military officials for ill treatment and food shortage. He appealed the Indian PM that not only is the food served poor in quality, but at times soldiers have to sleep on an empty stomach because higher ranked officers sell off government provisions illegally. It's not only the discipline that has eroded in the Indian Army, but the vintage equipment has multiplied the challenges. Currently, the Indian Navy operates a total of 16 submarines of various classes. Indian Navy fleet is aging, with many submarines being over 20 years old. The lack of operational preparedness and modernization, the submarines have encountered various accidents such as explosions, collisions, and fire on board. If we look into Indian Air Force operational capability, the force is struggling with a severe shortage of fighter squadrons, down to around 30 against the sanctioned 42. Take one one example of the Jaguar, a fighter plane that first entered service in the late 1970s. Keeping in view the history of accident, the plane is more of a liability than an asset for Indian Air Force. Decades-old engine technology highly restricts its fighting effectiveness in high-altitude areas. The Jaguar crashes are common sight, with many Indian pilots killed in these incidents, as these jets have long passed their expiry date. Musharraf Zahoor, PTV World, Islamabad.
Viewers, you just watched a brilliant report made by Pakistan PTV World team. The thing is that, I mean, if I specifically talk about Jammu and Kashmir and illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir by India, I mean, that is highest militarized zone at the moment. And the question is, when Pahalgam attack took place, what were Indian forces, security forces, the police force and the intelligence agencies were doing? I mean, were they so incapable of, checking the militants in that area where the access is, very limited? You really cannot, take your car or your motorbike to that place. You had to track for several hours to that specific location. And if certain terrorists, according to the Indian government, were involved in that incident, so they must be traveling on foot, carrying all these arms and ammunition with them. So on their way, there was no one, no security forces, no checkposts to check them where you were going. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's out of the mind. I mean, it's understandable. Faisal Raza Khan, you think that even if, and it's a big if, and I'm just hypothetically asking, accepting the narrative of whatever, lies the Indians are speaking at the moment, there was an external factor involved. So, in the end, it's your responsibility to protect the lives and the property of the citizen.
Definitely.
failed.
Absolutely
You
right.
failed. You must
India has
resign.
completely failed in
And
providing security
the
to their own people.
The people should ask, and the people should demand the resignation of Mr. Modi and other, the
Amit Shah.
Union government. Of
And
course,
all
Amit
others.
Shah.
Definitely.
Of course, and Dowell.
No doubt about that. But this is the brainchild of Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor of India. And 2 months before, they have planned this whole operation, which is they actually categorize as a terrorist incident, but actually it's a false flag operation. And it was evident throughout the history, the series of false flag operations committed and done by the Bharatiya Janata Party, that is the offshoot of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. And in year 2000, there was a book written by the US Secretary of State, the former US Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright. That was the Almighty, the Mighty and the Almighty. And in that book, even at that time, President Bill Clinton written one of the para in that. And that was all about his visit in 2000 when the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, that was the BJP government, and in Chatti Singhpura, 36 Sikh were massacred over there, and they were categorized as the false flag operation. And the same they have done. This is the repetition of that whole episode. If you just go through that,
I mean,
it is
almost 25 years ago.
Yes, it is the repetition. What happened in Pahalgam, it is the repetition of that. And it was CIA's report, and Bill Clinton was totally convinced. It is all about that Bill Clinton don't have to visit Pakistan, because he was a 3-nation visit at that time. So, but he visited Pakistan, and he was convinced that it was a false flag operation done by the Indian Army on behalf of Bharatiya Janata Party. Basically, Indian Army is right now a security company under the Modi regime. And Modi is using their army for his own sake. And some of the facts are very clear. Right at 6 kilometers from Basria, there is a police station. The police was not there. Then it was, whole of the area was totally empty, what we call meadow over there in Pahalgam. This whole planning was done 2 months before, and RAW was the basic proponent of that, and they were just waiting for the proper time to execute it. When the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan, General Asim Munir, has a speech before the overseas Pakistanis about the two-nation theory, and that was very much loud and clear.
Exactly.
This is the basis of Pakistan's existence.
The
There's no
famous-
question about that. About
the famous slogan,
two-nation theory.
Pakistan
And when he
Hamesha
said-
Zindabad.
And when he said that, and soon after that this was happened, it was already planned. And what the AVM Saab was saying, it was exactly correct. Because Everything was planned.
Right.
And even, I'm
Right.
just giving you some of the facts. TRF, the resistance force, what they call that was the terrorist organization that executed that attack. They denied. And their website was hacked afterwards by RAW.
Very
Then FIR was registered soon after 10 minutes, after 10 minutes of this episode. And then
Oh,
after
I was under the impression it was just after 30 minutes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
How?
After 10
Is it
minutes,
possible?
that FIR was registered in a police station where nobody was there.
Wow.
And then afterward,
Who
30
wrote
minutes.
the FIR?
And FIR was FIR. In FIR, straight away Pakistan was nominated.
Maybe an AI bot.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, that was NetBot. That was NetBot. And then afterward, media played it in after 30 minutes. Means across India, they got the information that this was done by Pakistan.
Exactly.
And all investigations done.
Of course.
Then
I mean,
nothing
that
about,
evidence.
no one raising question about only, exceptions are always there. But
All
no
that
one raising
evidence,
about the questions of investigations. Then
All that evidence shows that it was a
then
pre-planned.
in a briefing which was given by the Home Minister Amit Shah, Indian Home Minister Amit Shah, to the opposition parties in within Lok Sabha, he categorically said that Basrian was the meadow must have to be opened in June. It was coincide with the Amarnath Yatra,
Yeah.
but that was done in April. Why it was done in April? Why the security was not there? Why? Who were those people who were there?
Of course. And that's what I stated.
And when the
I asked
opposition
you.
raised the question that
Exactly,
why
Faisal,
in April, he
Faisal,
don't have the answer for that.
Exactly, I asked you, even if there was any involvement of an external factor, ultimately it was the failure and it was the responsibility of the Indian administration and the security forces. Faisal Shakeel, the question is, the India is known for conducting the false flag operations in the past and blaming its enemies, called rivals, including Pakistan, of all those false flag operations. And recently, it was also notorious for conducting state-sponsored terrorism and attempts of assassination. In several, it succeeded. Look what happened in Canada. So India is a country known for conducting false flag operation, killing its own enemies, which it believes the enemies are out of the law, or so-called the extrajudicial killing. So all these evidence are available to the media, to the world, to the United Nations Security Council. Perhaps that's why today, when the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution or condemned that attack, it refused to hold Pakistan responsible for the attack. So you think that India would listen to the voices and would listen to what is written on the wall, or you think that India would still continue its warmongering and fuel the jingoistic press of whatever India has at the moment? There's no,
Uh,
as we believe right now.
what we've seen in the wake of Pahalgam false flag operation, India is acting like a raging bull, and it refuses to de-escalate the situation. In such incidents or attacks, we first see who is benefiting how. And if you were to analyze this situation, you would understand and appreciate the fact that India has played the victim and India has benefited from the situation. Actually, it has benefited from the situation in Kashmir, where they're trying to change the demography, and they have brought in a bill to bring in more people there and take Muslims' land. And then, of course, they've been trying to control water for over 2 decades now. And this has been on Modi's agenda for a very long time. And this is exactly what they have done. It is almost like a knee-jerk reaction that unilaterally kill a treaty which has international guarantors in it. So India has benefited a lot from this attack, while Pakistan has been trying to tell the world, tell Indians they're not behind it. Look, we can go for an independent, neutral investigation. India is not going for that. So the situation is being used at the moment by India to its use. So the question arises, whatever India has done in the past in Pakistan, why has it not gained resonance with the world? There have been attacks, as you have said yourself, uh, the Jaffa train attack and the later attacks that were carried out with the help of Indian funding.
Okay,
That is,
question.
uh,
Faisal, a question. Faisal, a question. All good. Of course, India is a big economy. Of course, there are solid evidence that Indian government, through its intelligence agencies, fund the Indian media to, carry out this warmongering against Pakistan. But is there any answer what Indian government relationships are with Barhamda Bukti, Harbayar Mari, and other Baloch terrorist leader? No, I would not call them the leaders, but just the terrorists. I mean, these are the open facts. There are the footage available when the two terrorists, they were present in New Delhi and other parts of India, and Indian government openly supporting those elements, despite the fact that they were involved in the killing of so many innocent Baloch and other ethnic people in Pakistan. I mean, how they would justify whatever they are doing with Pakistan, and all of a sudden, with this false flag operation, throwing every entire blame on Pakistan? How would they justify their past mistakes and their conspiracies they hashed against Pakistan?
look, Shahzad, India has used its foreign relations or its foreign policy as a tool to hurt Pakistan. It is true in the case of Balochistan, as you have mentioned yourself, there are a lot of money flowing in there. It is true in case of Afghanistan as well. When you look at that, there was a meeting between Afghan interim foreign minister and Indian foreign secretary in uh, Dubai, I believe, if I am not mistaken. So, what are they doing there? They're offering scholarships to Afghani students. They're building a lot of projects there. They're injecting a lot of money there. So they would try to hurt Pakistan in any way possible. That is, very clear in my mind. Look, this situation, which is, escalating day by day, it's I think it's like slipping out of hands now. India needs to scale back its rhetoric and its media as well, which is spewing a lot of venom at the moment. Why I'm
Point
saying
taken.
that, because it is dividing
Point taken.
uh,
Point taken,
people
Faisal.
within India.
Yeah, yeah, point taken, point taken. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let me just save time and involve AVM Saab in the discussion. If they want war, let's have war. We are not scared, of course. Our security forces are well prepared, and we were discussing a very short while ago that our army is a battle hardened army. We've been facing all those visible and invisible enemies for the last 20 years or so, and most of the enemies were supported and backed by the Indian government and Indian intelligence agencies. AVM Saab, I mean, I was very encouraged, and personally I was happy to hear the statement of ex-servicemen, the senior army and the officers from from the armed forces who were retired, and now they are saying that we are ready to defend our motherland, even if we are called by the armed forces to come and serve as an active official. We'll do that. I mean, that is the spirit which we really want at this moment. And I was really encouraged and happy by the fact that our soldiers who were retired way back still, having this spirit in their blood to face the enemy no matter what. AVM sir.
Obviously, it's not only the as the serving people, officers, and our soldiers in ranks and file. It's the entire nation which would be ready, united, because India and Kashmir is one issue on which we have never shown, and we do not have any fault line as far as our you know unison is concerned over our policy towards the issue of Kashmir and dealing with India. So Indian leadership particularly should not be under any illusion that Pakistan would not respond. And I have reason to believe that Indian army has, conveyed their concerns about the disparity in the readiness and the combat readiness of both the sides, and they have whatever they possibly could do, they have conveyed that to the government. But it's the government of India, and more so, I mean, it is understandable that the media should be in sync with the government policy and government vision. But this time around, the media activism is far ahead of the agenda of BJP or RSS. Uh, you were earlier talking about some sane voice. I am sorry to say that people or the actors or that we listen and sometimes just to have their opinion on certain regional or bilateral issues. This time around, they are very you know you know uh, vomiting out all their against Pakistan. So
Absolutely,
they are
AVM Saab, absolutely.
able to fight.
You are right, right,
It is
right,
I'm
right, right on the point.
sure
Absolutely.
some of some very simple cases we used to rely on and know
Faisal Raza Khan, I mean, AVM Saab, he's absolutely right when the Indian media is basically, adding fuel to the fire. But Indian media is not doing something independently. Indian media is doing whatever it's being asked to do. Who's asking Indian media to create that sort of an atmosphere where war is imminent? And if they want war, let's have war. I mean, come on, we are not
Definitely, you
scared.
are absolutely right. To my understanding is that there is no difference between the Modi media and the military. Indian,
It's a Modi military media alliance.
this is the nexus. This is the nexus in between, and they are using each other for
Triple
their
M,
various desires.
M, M, M,
yes,
triple
three
M,
M's.
three
Or-
M's, yeah.
Okay, number one. And the second is they are actually the enemy of peace in Pakistan, the peace and stability in Pakistan. That's why they have utilizes financial action task force to hit Pakistan economically. They have used their diplomacy to strangle Pakistan at the international front. They have used this mantra of terrorism, which is, Faisal was absolutely right, that they have used this as a tool of their foreign policy. This is the state-sponsored terrorism which they are using not only in Indian illegally occupied.
All those tricks failed. All those tricks failed.
Definitely, they must have to be failed because Pakistan is standing like a wall in between. Now, the thing is, just today, 54 Kharij terrorists, they intend to cross Pakistani border from the western side. And these were the plans, because I am just giving you a real-time theory of the Indians right now, what they are thinking right
And
now.
most of them sent to hell.
Definitely, all of them sent to
All of them sent to
Alhamdulillah,
hell.
our
Yeah.
security forces are rock solid
Congratulations.
at every border.
Yeah.
And right now the thing is that India is actually playing it. They want to infiltrate through the line of control into the Azad Kashmir and then Gilgit-Baltistan, what they are planning actually. They intend to attack the mainland Pakistan as well. They want to exert pressure from the seaward side. And the fourth one is from the western side, because putting pressure on the eastern side and then giving those, and I'm just giving you an example because just today, an Indian special envoy, that is Anand Prakash, he met with the interim Afghan foreign minister Amir Khan Muttaqi in Kabul. Today he was there in Kabul, and when the terrorists were trying to cross Pakistan into, and fortunately our security forces not only killed them all but vanished them, and they are there for them as a I think so a huge wall in between the terrorists. And what I want to say is that unfortunately India thought that Pakistan is just now a weaker country, having the political fissures, political unrest, instability. They have a weaker economy. They are fighting with terrorists, and there is unrest in 2 of the provinces. What I am giving you to my enemies.
Exactly.
It is very loud and clear. Now
Yeah, but
today,
that was
Pakistan, across Pakistan, everyone is united.
That
They are
exactly.
standing right behind our forces.
Of course.
And if you want to have some sort of a war or something like that, please come. RT is ready. Any sort of Abu Nandar
Exactly.
will
I mean,
fall at our soil will not be brought back to India now.
Very apt and
this
right,
is very clear.
Very apt and right argument, and that exactly what people thought of the former Soviet Union when it disintegrated, that Soviet Union would not be there, or even Russia would not exist in future. But what, kept the country alive and united was the passion and the patriotism of the people, and the security, the army, the armed forces. That was the one that kept the Russia alive, and now it had the same important say in the affairs of the world. And that
And Raza, if you want to allow me, I just want to make
Go ahead.
one word, that now illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the people over there, this is the right time to stand up. This is the time for those people who are living in Khalistan right now. They want freedom from India. They have to stand up now. And this is the time. Challenge Modi, because he is the one who don't want India integrated. India will be disintegrated with the policies what Modi is actually
Of course. Faisal Shakeel, I want you to comment on this growing saffronization in India. I mean, whatever Narendra Modi and ilk are doing at the moment, that is exactly 360 degrees opposite what the founding fathers of India envisioned for the country. I mean, we had ups and downs in our relationship in the past, but right now, I mean, it is absolute chaos. It is nonsense. It's absurd. I mean, nowhere we can see that they are capable to live like an honest and, supporting or friendly neighbors. I mean, it's impossible at the moment. So how it had come to this? Why they are so? I mean, even they are not ashamed after criticizing and even abusing the founder father of India. I mean, this is the state of affair in India at the moment. Narendra Modi and the ilk.
India, especially Modi, is obsessed with Pakistan. They cannot see Pakistan prosper. They cannot see Pakistan's economy improving. You would remember this recently. There was this conference in Pakistan from across the world. There were people who came here and they're interested in minerals in Pakistan. We opened up our economy. We opened up these places for them, for international investors to come and invest in this. So Modi, he just cannot see Pakistan prosper. So they staged this entire drama, which we call the false flag operation. But I'll tell you that it will hurt Modi really bad if he was to, launch some sort of operation, some sort of strike. And this time around, what I have gathered and from what I know, I can tell you there's going to be a very, very strong response. As you've mentioned yourself, Pakistan's army has been fighting on several fronts for more than 2 decades straight now. I had covered, the war on terror, Pakistan's war on terror on different fronts. I've been flying to Sawat. I've been flying to these agencies, and I've seen their capabilities. They took out the entire population of Sawat, which is like 2 million, and they cleared that area, and then they rehabilitated those people. So this is not a small affair. So we have shown the world our capabilities, and India should also know our capability. We've got an army which is battle harder. It is not an army.
All right. Thank you. Faisal, just let me get one last comment from AVM Saab. Any last comment? Last 1 minute, AVM Saab.
Yes, as you mentioned, the message should be loud and clear. We are ready. Option is yours. You started it. You want us to end. We will go to limits.
Absolutely, and a very apt answer, AVM Saab, that we are ready and the option is yours. Thank you so much. You understand?
And Raza, what
Very quickly.
Faisal and
Last 15
yes,
seconds.
definitely. Modi, Amit Shah, Doval, and their military might be. They are might be living in fool's paradise. I am just giving you that my words, very responsive. That Pakistan's response in case of any sort of eventuality or adventurism from India, that
True
will
that.
be hard-hitting, and Indian generations will definitely, you can say that
Will be given a matching
definitely.
response, of
and,
course.
and it would be it would be a history. It would be history in making. What would be the response of Pakistan? They must have to imagine it
Of
would
course,
be a
of course.
very
Thank you so
very
much.
hard-hitting response.
Absolutely.
I am giving you assurance of that. really.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Faisal Raza Khan, Faisal Shakeel, AVM Ijaz Malik, for your precious time and joining the show and joining the transmission. And let me conclude this transmission by just saying that we are lions and jackals cannot face lions. Thank you so much and for watching. Good night and Khuda Hafiz.